so that was a Nana song. Well, well, well.
Always peace and understanding.
Did you spot the bananas? 20 to 7 is the time. Nik KERSHAW has arrived. Calling hospitality. Hospitality, please. Cup of coffee, maybe a few glasses of wine. There we go. We're going to get everything absolutely comfortable in here. Sandwiches, no meat. No meat. Plenty of veg and stuff like that. Now we'll just hear the first track first. James Cagney, like this. James Cagney from Radio Musicola, the new LP from Nik KERSHAW, who's here.
I am.
The third LP.
God, after all these years, I made it to 3 LPs.
Thanks for coming back and chatting about the new LP.
My pleasure.
Looking good?
Thank you. That's not what you said earlier. But
just testing.
I believe you.
That was called James Cagney. You seem to write so many songs about famous people, including Nelson Riddle. Tell me why. I mean, first of all, what do you respect about James Cagney, and why did you write a song about him?
It's not particularly about James Cagney. It's just about the films of that era. And it's about a guy who spends all his time at drive-in movies and feels himself I've covered this before on Bogart on the first album.
Yeah.
It's just saying that he feels inadequate because he's supposed to be as tough as James Cagney, he's supposed to be as smart as Charlie Chan, and he's supposed to love better than Valentino. So because he doesn't do that, he thinks there's something wrong with him.
So what's the concept then of Radio Musicola? Because I think I was absolutely wrong in thinking that you're a big radio freak and that you you like what you heard, and I was obviously very wrong.
No, it's not.
It's nothing to do with radio. As such?
Not as such, no, not the track itself. Although, I mean, you could be mistaken by the album cover because it's got all that over it. It's just about the music business more than the record business, than the radio stations themselves.
So you're going to be more explicit when you say about the music business. Go on, just a bit more on that.
It's about sort of like Musicola is a word I made up. Sort of like Coca-Cola, you know. I mean, music more and more seems to be today something that you can pick up. It could come in tin cans, you know. You open it up, you consume it, and then you can throw it away again. It seems to be very, very temporary and very disposable, which is a kind of a shame. And I think the music business is responsible for that. I must take a lot of the responsibility for it.
I can see the record label now, Musicola Records. It would actually work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the whole atmosphere of the album cover and everything. It's all very 50s. It's got like a little logo that's as though it's its own radio station and stuff, which is kind of fun.
Let me just explain to anyone who hasn't seen the LP cover. On the back of the cover, as you say, there are these 50s sort of adverts, and each one is sort of connected to each of the song titles. These you haven't made up yourself. For instance, I'll give you an example. There's a place for you at Green Lawns. Let's not waste words here. Life's a bitch, and then you die, right? In which case you don't deserve the very best that life can provide, and all this sort of thing, which is very depressing. Vincent Price Walk In.
All these adverts are actually taken from a book of 50s adverts and stuff, American adverts. And they've just been doctored a little bit to fit the titles of some of the songs in them.
Why do you say that you're a new Nik KERSHAW now? Because it has been said in the newspapers, and you've even said it yourself before now, you want to go in different directions, and you're not really going for the teenage thing anymore.
Well, I never was. I suppose the fact that I'm producing myself has given me sort of a longer reign to get on with what I want to do, really. But I haven't consciously done anything different, although from the reaction I've got from the album, obviously people think that it is very different. But we'll see what happens and how it actually gets received.
As you say, you take all the production credits on this LP, which basically means it's on your head, mate. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the frightening thing about it. I mean, that's the thing that first gets to you when you start producing yourself. It's nothing technically you're doing different. It's just that you've got ultimate responsibility. You know, like the buck stops here, and you go home with the problems, and you have to sort them out.
Okay, and let's hear another track from the LP, and you can introduce it.
Right, this is a track of Radio Musicola, and this is called Violet to Blue.
from the Nik Kershaw new LP, Radio Musicola. That's called Violet to Blue. And looking at those 50s adverts again on the rear of the LP cover, this is the one that's connected with Violet to Blue. 100 spring bulbs for $6. Yes, be the first on your block to have a riot of colour in your backyard this spring, etc., etc., etc. Only we can do them for $6 as opposed to the normal $10, that sort of thing. It's all very good. It's a very original idea, Nick. But you still didn't bring me those £5 of spuds in, did they?
Oh, don't you start. Isn't it amazing what newspapers find to write about? They just seem to... I'm now a spud farmer, you know. Oh, well.
But you're growing potatoes, aren't you?
Well, people do grow potatoes, Bruno. I mean, it's not an unknown thing.
Yeah, but you do enjoy, growing potatoes and vegetables in your garden.
It's not very difficult. So you get this little round thing, it's called a potato, and you put it in the ground, and you sort of hang about for about 3 months, and then it sort of turns up and becomes lots of bigger potatoes. Isn't nature wonderful?
Finding the time to do it, though, Nick, you know, is a
hang about for 3 months.
Such a serious hobby like that.
I know, serious stuff, yeah.
Listen, Radio Musicola, I got it all wrong at the beginning, has nothing to do with radio, but you do listen to radio, don't you?
Every now and again. I find it real difficult to listen to any music at the moment, Bruno, I have to say, because having finished an album, I'm listening with the wrong set of ears. I'm sort of listening to the production. I'm listening to what kind of snare drum sound it is. I'm listening to certain vocal effects and something. And it's just not the right way to listen to music. So I sort of owe it to people that have got albums out at the moment not to listen to them yet until I've got out of that mode. Because you shouldn't be in that kind of... you shouldn't have to listen to records like that.
But do you like what you hear on the radio generally, not just the music? Do you think that radio is creative in this country, and do you enjoy radio for its entertainment value and so on?
A lot of it, yeah, but unfortunately it is dependent on what the record companies decide to feed it, you know, which is, obviously the radio stations have got independence in certain ways in which they can play what they want, but they can only play what is available. And I do find what is available quite depressing at the moment, quite some of it coming up, you know.
What about Singled Out? Because you're taking part in that on Friday. Do you ever get the chance to listen to Singled Out?
I've heard it a couple of times. I heard it a while back when the guy from OMD was on it. Yeah. And it sounds quite fun. I did Roundtable ages and ages ago from the sort of Ideal Home exhibition in a Goldfish Bowl sometimes. So this will be quite different.
But when you hear pop stars, slagging off other people's material, do you think that's a good thing? And do you think that what you're hearing is the real truth behind what they're saying?
It's not the truth, because there's no such thing as the truth in music, because it's all opinions. So as long as you remember that, I think it's quite healthy. But nobody takes it personally. Plenty of people slag my records off, and I sort of meet them about 2 weeks later, and we get on like a house on fire.
But there does seem to be more of a slagging off than paying credit to other people's records.
Well, what are you going to do if you don't like something? If you're real honest about it, if you don't like something, it's no point in pretending you do, really.
The problem is that it's too late anyway, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah, once it's on a bit of black plastic, that's it. You've had it, mate.
Pray. Well, listen, I think you've been very kind to come away from your rehearsals, which you have. I know you're working extremely hard at the moment to come and have a quick chat to us. Again, good luck with this LP.
Thank you.
We'll play the title track. Nik Kershaw, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
7. Thanks again to Nick, and that's the title track, Radio Musicola. And once again, we've got 10 signed copies of Nick's new album to give away. If you can identify the 4 Nik Kershaw song titles that are carefully hidden in this riddle, which is coming up. Well, it had to be a riddle for Nik Kershaw, let's face it. So anyway, here goes. 4 verses, 4 song titles. I don't like the sky when it's full of the stars. I don't like to look up at Venus and Mars. I like to see brightness and warmth from the sky, so I must see a day when it's clear, hot and dry. I don't like to see big mechanical things that run round a circuit on rubber and springs. I like to see people compete in a race, competing with others with skill and with pace. I don't like the ladies who sit on the side. I don't like the ladies in leather or hide. I like to see ladies that get up and jive, the ladies who bop in a hall or a dive. And I don't like the barons who ruled in the land, or courtiers and knights who'd fight hand to hand. But give me a hero who fights in the main, with windmills as fighters in the legends of Spain. So, there you go, 4 song titles. They're hidden in the riddle. And if you think you've got them all, jot them down on a postcard, send them in to me at this address. It's the Nik KERSHAW competition. Bruno, I'm half an inch taller than Nick Brooks. Radio 1, London W, 1A4WW. I'm so proud of that. So Radio 1, London W, 1A4WW. And if you stay tuned next week, I'm going to be giving you the answers, obviously, and the winners from the competition. And I'm going to be setting a new one about the Police for 10 signed copies of their album. And also, Stuart Copeland, he's coming in to talk about the LP. So there you go. And if you missed that riddle, or you didn't quite catch it right, I will repeat it again before 7:30. Promise.